I now invite Engineer Mosaed Al Ohali, Executive Vice President, Manufacturing in SABIC, and the Chairman of MEPIC's Advisory Committee to deliver a speech.
I would like to start with thanking Dr. Mirza for taking patronage of this event. The first process engineering exhibition and conference in the Middle East. I'd like also to extend our appreciation and thanks to the government of Bahrain for continuously supporting and sponsoring these events of technical exchange and networking in Bahrain. I would like also to thank the organizing committee for putting together such an impressive event for the first time. In particular, I would like to thank Abdel Mohsen Al Majnouni, the chairman of the organizing committee, and Mosaed Al Ahmadi for their efforts in leading this organizing effort. Many people, many organizations contributed to the success of it, and it is coming out to be very impressive. The organizing committee gave me 10 minutes to deliver a speech, and I'll see how well I can adhere to this. Probably 20% is already gone. But I have to admit at the beginning that I did have little time preparing my speech. And so I would like to apologize in advance if I do not live up to your expectation. I'll try to make my speech simple and to the point. And actually, I was listening to Mr. Abdurrahman. I was thinking maybe we have if we were to switch orders, because my message is what needs to be done. And I think what I heard from Mr. Omar is how we can do it. The other thing I'd like to say is that when I say process engineering or chemical engineering, and I use these two terms interchangeably, I'm referring more or less to the whole engineering discipline, because it's hard for engineers, chemical engineers or process engineers, to do something in isolation of others. So I'm a chemical engineer by profession, and if I say something process engineer, then it's not biased, but it is just a figure of speech. Now, I would like to give you a couple of observations on what I think our industry is moving, what I think is important initiatives in our industry that is important for the Middle East, and in particular for the Gulf region. And maybe start with just recapping a little bit about the history of our profession. Of course, our profession goes very deep into history. But the formal discipline started more or less about the beginning of the 19th century. At that time, engineering was mainly empirical, and was focused on putting together process units to produce, I would say, roughly specified products. And from there, the engineering community, together with the scientists and research institutions and laboratories, we had much better understanding of the transport phenomena, and we employed our knowledge to build ever-increasing in size chemical and petrochemicals and refining assets to produce more sophisticated, more functionalized products serving a whole space of applications. I think we as engineers and of course scientist community, we are moving to a stage where we're trying to first design the molecules we want for a certain application we want, and then going back and saying, well, how we can produce in a mass production. And when I look at this leap of capabilities, I really feel very proud that I'm part of engineering community, chemical and process engineering and other engineering discipline community, because we add a lot to the quality of life of the people on this, in this earth. What I'd like to focus on, bring a focus on, and as we move forward, I see two emerging themes in our industry. Those may not be emerging everywhere in the world, but certainly they are emerging in our Gulf region. The first one is sustainability. The second one is innovation. I'm going to talk a little bit about both of these, hopefully within the allocated time of 10 minutes. Then I'll conclude with just a small idea for you to think about. The first one is innovation, is sustainability, and sustainability is a whole encompassing word. It is a huge concept. But what the important aspect of it is sustainability encompasses the things that we do to preserve our planet Earth and preserve our nature. It is preserve and renew our resources. That's in a big sense. Of course, you can find in the Google or in the dictionaries a lot of very sophisticated technical definitions of what sustainability is, but that's not the point here. The point is, if you were to look at sustainability and kind of put a scale of what is a low end of sustainability excellence and what is high end of this sustainability excellence, I would think what we as corporates, the minimum we can do is comply to the environmental regulation. That's a minimum, because if we don't, then we go to prison and we pay a lot of fines, etc. So the kind of the lower end of it. At the super end of it, at the high end of it, it is corporates harnessing the sustainability platforms to achieve market segment leadership. Together, what this brings in terms of image, respect, recognition by the social stakeholders, as well as this elite financial performance. And when I look at our industry in the petrochemical area, in the Gulf area, I think I have to say that we are unfortunately at the left side of it. We tend to think about sustainability more in terms of legal compliance, environmental regulatory compliance. But I think this is an emerging trend where we in the chemical in the Gulf area are starting to measure our sustainability performance. And not only measure it, we measure it credibly in a good quality that we are able to actually take this and communicate it to our stakeholders, to our societies, which is moving in the excellence, moving to the right-hand side of the scale. And I think that is very encouraging. The more we report and the more credible and transparent reporting is, there is one thing that's going to happen, and that is improvement in performance. We, the engineering community, whether we are process engineers or otherwise, we play a vital role here. And I think it is important that we embrace our role to push the sustainability performance of our companies and our region toward the market segment leadership. The second thing I would like to talk about is innovation. And if you reflect a little bit on our petrochemical industry in the region, it's definitely very young. I mean, the bulk of our assets are 25 to 30 years old. And when we started, we imported technologies. We imparted processes, work processes and procedures. And being where we are with the industry, we religiously embrace those technologies. We use them, and we use them with a very high level of compliance. We were pure users of the technologies and the knowledge that we imported. Of course, after several decades, we gain competency, we gain experience on the things that we get from others. And we kind of emerged into what we call smart follower. Still playing with someone else's gadget, but we know how to do it better. We know how to use it better. It's like a race car driver being able to use the car to maneuver the turns, the speed, acceleration, deceleration better. But looking forward, that's not going to be sufficient. That's not going to be sufficient. We need to move into becoming an innovative leader. Now, innovation, again, it's like sustainability. It's a whole encompassing concept. What is important for us to realize is that, in a sense, innovation is putting knowledge, assembling our knowledge, integrating our knowledge to produce breakthrough value creation. It's not invention. Inventions facilitate innovation. But innovation is using the knowledge we have in a breakthrough way to create value. And that is a must for our region in order to be able to shape our future, decide what we want to do in the future, where we want to take our industry, what values, what business objectives we are going to serve, and then drive to those. To the extent that we are pure users or smart follower, someone else is going to decide for us, and we're going to use someone else's, we're going to be following someone else's. And when you look at actually the industry growth, we started with the pure commodities, and we have grown into commodity plus kind of manufacturing. So we produce a lot of ethylene, a lot of polyethylene, a lot of other commodities, xylenes, paraxylenes, a lot of EG, and things of that sort. two things happening to us among many. One is our margins are shrinking. So we need to go drive ourselves down the chain so that we maintain our profitability. And the other thing that is happening to us is we have to create jobs here in the region because the population growth is just phenomenal. And for us to meet these objectives together with other objectives, we are driving our industry to go more into specialized, functionalized products. And we're seeing it. We're seeing a number of examples. SABIC is announcing a lot in the specialty business, announcing a lot of growth in the specialty business. Saudi Aramco is doing this, and a number of other companies are doing this. I have one last comment, again, that's to share thoughts with you. We in this region, I'm not sure how old this data, probably it is 1 year, maybe 2 years old. But the point that gets here is that we don't have as many engineers as we should to drive growth. So one thing we have to do is, of course, graduate more engineers. The other thing is we have to have the technical competencies. The engineers have to be able to do engineering work, have to be design work, manufacturing work, operation work. Not only that, but engineers have to have the code of the work ethics. And what I mean by work ethics is being able to do their job in a sustainable and innovative way. Sustainability and innovation in the sense I just talked about. That's a must for us in the region. I think that's all I want to say, and thank you very much. I wish you very success in this forum. It seems that there's going to be quite a bit of interaction, networking, and technology, and knowledge sharing and exchange. And I wish you guys all the best. Thank you.